Hi, this is Charlie, and this is part 2 of another video on kitten care for very young, orphaned, unweaned kittens. Charlie here is about maybe 2.5 to 3 weeks old. In the first segment we talked about how to feed a kitten and what to feed a kitten. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some situations that may arise. If you find a kitten who is very chilled, been outside in the elements, and is very chilled, lethargic, listless, even shaking, do not attempt to feed that kitten. The kitten must be warmed first. Trying to feed the kitten will potentially kill it because their intestines are shut down. So they need to be warmed and gotten to a normal temperature, for which for cats is 100 to 102 degrees. So first thing you want to do is wrap them in warm towels, like right out of a dryer, for example. If they're wet, dry them off. Use a hair dryer on a low setting if you need to. Again, not close to the kitten, you don't want to burn the kitten, but just enough away to dry them thoroughly. You can use a heating pad, which is excellent on a very, very lowest setting. Do not put the cat directly on the heating pad. You always want to cover the heating pad with towels or bedding and then put the cat on it, and on the floor obviously, and have it such that the kitten can crawl off of the heating pad. So if you had the kitten here and you had your heating pad on, and if you use a bathtub, is a great place to keep tiny kittens. You want to make sure that there's enough room so that the kitten can crawl off of the heating pad if need be, if he or she gets too hot. So that's a good piece of equipment to have on hand. The other critical piece of equipment is a scale. This is absolutely critical. You need to weigh your kittens at least once a day, maybe more. This is a simple postal scale, just a regular battery, cordless postal scale. And it'll go up to 5 pounds, which is more than you need, and just place the kitten on it and use the scale and record the kitten's weight every day. Start a log on your kitten. The kitten should gain 1/4 to 1/2 ounce of weight every day. If the kitten does not gain weight every day, or if the kitten starts losing weight, it is a very bad sign. It is critical that they gain weight every single day at this age. And you'll need to get them in immediately. Another common condition is that kittens get diarrhea. It can be for any number of causes. It can be parasites, it can be worms, it can be bacterial imbalances, it can be infections, but it is also life-threatening. If there is diarrhea present, and try to control it first if you can, by using, say, pumpkin, just adding, or this is baby food, squash, actually, same thing, and just add a very small teaspoon into their formula and feed that to them. The fiber will help normalize it. There are also some probiotics that you can get. One is called Fortiflora. Just sprinkle a little bit of that into their formula. If the diarrhea does not abate, you will need to get medication. The most common ones are Albon, Flagyl. Go to a vet, get medication for the kitten. The diarrhea has got to stop or the kitten will die. The kitten can become dehydrated very, very quickly at this age. Another thing that you can do to help combat dehydration, if there is diarrhea present, is just get some unflavored pediatric electrolyte from any grocery store. This is a human baby product. And use that instead of water to mix your formula up. The Pedialyte contains electrolytes that will help balance minerals lost or depleted through the diarrhea. If the diarrhea has progressed to a bad enough point that the kitten cannot regain hydration, you may need to administer subcutaneous fluids. This is an advanced technique, and we're not going to get into it here. But what this does, and it's not as scary as it looks, you can just draw some up into a syringe and just inject into the kitten. I know it looks awful, such a big needle and such a little thing, but it is life-saving and it's worth knowing. Again, we're not really going to demonstrate it here. A vet can maybe demonstrate that at some point if you need to. Kittens at this age cannot generate their own body heat, so you may need to keep them on the heating pad. Again, keep it on low and keep it underneath bedding so that the kitten can crawl off of it as necessary. If you have an only kitten, sometimes they benefit from having a bear. I put a bear in their bed with them. See?
Yeah.
And it's just comforting. It just provides a little bit of comfort if you have an only kitten. Please, I knew there was something. The other condition that you will encounter, especially in certain parts of the country, and where we are in Southern California near the beach, is fleas. A kitten this small cannot tolerate what is called a flea dip or a flea shampoo. You cannot use any kind of flea medication on the kitten. What you can do is make up a bath of either baby wash or just a little bit of Dawn, and just gently bathe the kitten in a container, and just gently bathe the kitten. Make sure to dry the kitten off very, very well, and comb the kitten thoroughly. You can also use this bath in case they do get diarrhea on them. It's, if possible, try to avoid immersing the kitten. I mean, the one thing you don't want to do is have the kitten get chilled. And if you get the kitten wet, it's likely to get chilled. So if you can avoid that, it is worth avoiding. Baby wipes are great. This is just basic human baby wipes. They're very mild and gentle, and just wipe it off. It's important to get the fleas off, because flea anemia, the fleas can deplete the kitten to a certain, can actually suck enough blood out of the kitten that the kitten will develop anemia and die from that alone. So it is critical to get those fleas off, however, off the kitten, but it is also critical that you don't use so much toxic chemicals on something this small and this fragile. So those are the two conditions that you are most likely to face in kitten care. For more information and for more details, please go to HelenSandersCatPaws.com. There are some kitten care guides on that website that you can download and just read up on how to care for these little things. Their lives depend on it. One more thing, you will, maybe if you care for enough kittens, you will lose some. It's a fact of life. Sometimes they are so disadvantaged that there's just no coming back no matter what you do. They may have some congenital birth defect, they may have contracted a virus in utero, and there's nothing you can do. So it's important to remember that you gave them a chance and that they didn't die alone. But you'll save more than you lose. And in the end, if you save one, it's enough. Bye, Charlie.